Welcome back to Super J Recap. We are at the finals of the 1994 Super J Cup. The Great Sasuke taking on Wild Pegasus, Chris Benoit. And this match is, this match is amazing.
It's so good.
I forgot how good it was until I watched it again last night. And it's like, the it's always awkward to talk about now, but I was a huge Chris Benoit fan.
Right. No, the Crippler was awesome.
So I got like his Hard Knocks DVD, and this was actually on it. Like this was on the Hard Knocks like collection, like the documentary and stuff that they did on him in like 2004, 2005. And they got the rights to this match on that. So I'd seen it before, but it's been 15 years probably since I've seen this match. So, watching it back and just seeing like, wow, there is so much good stuff in this match. And I completely understand if you're not comfortable watching a Chris Benoit match, given how everything ended up. But, if you can, it's definitely one to check out.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't know that he even wrestled in New Japan before you told me to watch these matches. I had no clue. And like I told you going into it, I had no clue that Wild Pegasus was Chris Benoit. So I was going in Raw, and then I watched all three matches in the same couple hours over like a couple hours or whatever. And I started with the Liger match, and I went to the Benoit match, and they were very different matches, right? Well, one had the brutality that we talked about in the Benoit and the Gato match, and then you had all those spots in Liger versus Sasuke. So then having Sasuke versus Benoit, I was really interested to see if they were going to be able to have the brutality of the first match mixed with that spots of the second match.
Yep.
Right, and how that would look, and would those styles mesh well?
Yeah.
And boy, did they mesh incredibly well.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is like we said in the previous video, like this is the style that gets moved forward, or like this is where that style that you see of modern wrestling, and kind of originated, and because the '94 J Cup is completely historic and insanely influential. You've got so many people talking about it even today, and you can see why in these matches.
Yeah. Oh man, these three matches are a perfect intro into Japanese wrestling at this time. You know what I mean? At least for me, because these were the first taste I got, and it actually made me like, do I actually want to go watch more '90s Japanese wrestling?
Yeah.
I think I might.
Yeah, and like you don't even get to see, like, even through this, like Sasuke is obviously he's representing Michinoku Pro Wrestling in this tournament, and there's some Michinoku Pro matches that are insanely good. Mike Quackenbush actually credits Michinoku Pro as his inspiration into launching Chikara.
Okay.
Because he loved that style, and obviously you have Taka Michinoku.
I was going to mention that Taka was in Sasuke's corner in both matches. I don't know if he was in all the matches throughout the tournament, but in the semifinals and the finals, he was there, and I just that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Sasuke's cornermen were Taka Michinoku and Super Delphin, who was in the Zubas.
Okay, that was the dude with the green.
Yeah.
And then the
Oh no! Well, the green mask was Liger.
Oh, during the finals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Liger, because Wild Pegasus, when he was Pegasus Kid in like 1990, is a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Okay.
So he was representing New Japan in this tournament. And so, but yeah, this was so good, even from the start, like, a little chain wrestling. And then, like, one of my favorite spots, like, it's always such a little thing, but I love whenever someone will do the snapmare and the other guy just flips over and lands on his feet.
Yeah.
Which is what Sasuke did, like, very much showing that super athleticism that Sasuke brought. And then Benoit just chopped him.
Well, they were both big fans of the German suplex into the bridge.
Yep.
Dropping each other on his head on their heads.
Yeah.
Which was great because it had that brutality that transferred over from Pegasus's first match versus Gato, where you really got that in those, like you said, in those other moves.
Yep. And yeah, it was a lot of showing off the technical, that both of them could actually do the technical style. But yeah, Pegasus was kind of getting a little bit of the advantage on, the more brutal moves and like the striking and that kind of stuff. But then Sasuke would do something, crazy athletic.
A handspring flip over the top rope to the outside.
Yeah, I mean, it is called it is called the Sasuke special for a reason,
When he hit that, I was like,
yeah, like
I did not see that coming. In 1994, I was like, I didn't know they were hitting that. I didn't know they were hitting one hand handspring into a top rope, like. Yeah, somersault.
Yeah, it's like it's a move that like currently Jack Evans does, and it still looks super impressive today.
Right.
Like Jack Evans and Will Ospreay does it, still today, and it's now known as the Sasuke special, which that was my only downside of when Sasuke was in town was. Like, there's not enough room on the outside to do any dives. Plus, he's in his 50s now. So it's like, I don't think he can still do the Sasuke special, but I wish he could. Or in the one case, yeah, because the two matches I got to see him against for First Wrestling, it was Sasuke. Night one was Sasuke versus then Shane Strickland, now Isaiah Swerve Scott. And the night two was Sasuke versus Darby Allin.
Oh.
To which, you saw Sasuke's style of very much throwing his body at his opponent to do whatever damage possible.
Darby's got a very similar style.
That's Darby's style.
That'd be a really excellent match to see.
It was super fun. It's on YouTube.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. But yeah, then, it was so good. Like the Sasuke special. And Benoit actually pulls off some like athletic stuff as well. He does the springboard. What Jericho usually does is like the springboard drop kick. He did a springboard cross body, taking both of them to the outside. I forgot like that he does that move in that match, and it's like, wow.
Well, and then Sasuke suplex him to the outside, doesn't he?
Yeah, Sasuke suplexes him to the outside later on. Benoit was using the Dragon Suplex as his finisher as well, like one of his finishers. So the fact that he did that, and then Sasuke kicks out, then hits the diving headbutt, Sasuke kicks out. Then Wild Pegasus, because he's Canadian, of course had to use the sharpshooter.
Right, of course. That's like that's a prerequisite for Canadians. It's in their writer.
Yeah. And then I completely forgot Sasuke does the drop kick from the top rope to the outside.
Outside. Yeah, that was impressive. when he got up there and then he hit that big drop kick from the top of the pole all the way to the bottom, and yeah, like you said, he'll throw his body at you, and that was very, very much appreciated on my part. Watching this, it was excellent.
Yeah, it's like I wrote in my notes. He follows it with the top rope drop kick all the way to the outside, proving that, because since you haven't seen much Sasuke, in the last like decade, he's been doing these like crazy multi-man like scramble death matches, but they're like, there's weapons involved, but it's always kind of funny, weird stuff. And I swear for like 3 years in a row, he would just find a barrel, put it over himself, and dive off the top rope onto a mass of people.
That's like when Darby did that barrel fall at what was that at? Was that
at All Out? I think.
Oh, maybe that was All Out.
Yeah, I think it was All Out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, the Cracker Barrel Clash.
Cracker Barrel Blitz or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fun stuff.
But yeah, and actually,
yeah.
Actually, as soon as Darby did that, I was like, oh, this is another reason why this was the perfect match to have back in January. Of like, oh, they're both crazy, cool. And then after that dive, Sasuke hits a moonsault, but only gets a 2 count there, and then he's going up for another moonsault.
I thought he was going to take it there. And when he's going up for this fight, I thought he was going to hit it and win. And then what?
So then, while Sasuke is up on the top rope, he's gonna go for the moonsault. Wild Pegasus, counters it. They fight on the top rope for a little bit. Wild Pegasus hits a top rope gut wrench suplex and gets the win.
That was crazy.
Yeah, like
crazy because they were up there and he had him in that. Yeah, the gut wrench, right? Like the side suplex, and then he just falls back, and you're like, whoa! But then he gets right on top of him, and it's like 1, 2, 3, and you're like, wait. That he ended it with, but you're like, that was a hell of impressive.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise finish for me at least. I thought Sasuke for sure had it locked.
Okay.
A couple times just from the way they were playing it. I didn't think it was going to be Wild Pegasus, right? Like I don't know, for some reason. And so it surprised me with that quick finish when he hit that gut wrench suplex off the second rope. Yeah, so it was off the second rope.
Yep.
And then boom, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, because at this point in time, Benoit was in ECW as well. Okay. And his finisher in ECW was actually a super power bomb. So like I thought he might have been going for that, but he was going the opposite direction, obviously. So it's like, oh, it's the gut wrench. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that too. But this match was ridiculous. It's still amazing. Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer gave it 5 stars. Cage match users right now, it's a 9.35. Like, it's insane. Like, yeah, I forgot how good of a match this was.
It's definitely opened my eyes to like the quality of wrestling that was happening back then, and really where the birthplace of the modern style started. And in what camps, right? Because Benoit was in the same camp as, Liger, Sasuke, obviously, but then like Guerrero and Mysterio and all these other guys too that really took that style of the littler guy or the smaller guys, that quicker, that lucha libre style, and they showed that it can be. You can tell stories with it, right? It's not just flashy, but it doesn't have to be all hold moves and plotting either.
Yeah.
So it was eye-opening for me on multiple levels, and it was great having it be my first introduction to Great Sasuke and learning that Benoit was Wild Pegasus in New Japan in the '90s. It was fabulous. I thank you for
Yeah.
reaching out to do this.
Yeah, and actually, you mentioned him earlier in Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is also in this tournament
Really?
as Black Tiger. So
Okay.
there's a like 10-minute sprint Black Tiger versus Wild Pegasus match in one of the earlier rounds. So
Really?
it's Benoit versus Guerrero in front of, you know, and even if you even if you didn't know that it was Eddie Guerrero going into it, literally the first set of moves that he does in his first match, he, it's a little chain wrestling, big power slam, steps on the guy's face, does the like spin on the face that he does in WCW NWO Revenge, and then goes to the outside and does the slingshot senton. And it's like, that's Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah. That over the top
Yep.
senton. Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. Really, that's interesting. That is
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah,
Uh,
great Sasuke. Great Scott Sasuke Wild Pegasus is definitely 5-star worthy.
yep.
I will say I might have liked Liger Sasuke just
Yeah,
better for my flavor.
I honestly think if it was not for that botch, I think Meltzer would have given that match 5 stars.
That's true. The botch holds it back,
Yeah,
right?
like because I actually on Twitter earlier today I actually reached out to Dave Meltzer on Twitter, and it was just like, hey Dave, just watched the 1994 Super J Cup again. How many other one night tournament performances do you think are on the same level as Great Sasuke's performance in this tournament? And he actually replied back to me. He's like, few if any. And then said, I mean, I guess some guys who did 60-minute matches might have been better, but as far as tournament performance, I can't think of anyone. Is what
Well,
Meltzer said.
with these three matches, you had a 19-minute, a 17-minute, and a 20-minute, 17 seconds. I think was the final.
Yeah,
But you don't need 45-minute matches
yeah,
to tell great stories and to
yep,
have great matches. You need 15, 20 minutes, really. Like, I think some of the problem with WWE is it's like you're either going to get 30 plus or 5,
yeah,
you know? And it's like, well, let's just cut the 30 plus down and give out more, 15, 20s and let them, do their thing. And you could have, maybe higher quality matches by
yeah.
making them shorter, right? Because not every 45-minute match is a 5-star either.
No, no, that was like even comparing just this week, personal preference. Uh, Edge and Randy Orton was a fine match. It was okay, but AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan had a much better match to me on SmackDown on Friday
For the IC
for
title.
the IC title. Like, it was incredibly good. But part of that is also me being a fan of AJ since like 2000. So the fact that AJ does like, he actually did the jump over moonsault reverse DDT, which I don't think he's done in like 5 years.
Jeez. I need to. Like I told you before we actually started doing these, I haven't watched any wrestling since Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
So, 2020. So, but it was fun to watch some '90s New Japan, and nowhere better to start than the first inaugural Super J Cup and Great Sasuke Wild Pegasus. Fine match.
Yep. So yeah, do your plugs once again, Thor.
Based on my banner all over the interwebs.
Yeah. And then you can follow me at Knocked Out Films on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. And then knockedoutentertainment.com. Make sure to like and subscribe on this channel, all that fun stuff. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks.
Thanks for letting me be part of this, Kyle.
Yeah, of course.